Welcome to another Swoop's Standouts. This one was actually hard to pick my top 5, but I'll give it a go anyway. Let's get into it. Before we jump into my standouts, thank you for watching the video. If you want to support the channel but you don't want to buy merch or anything like that, I can see that 52.6% of the people that are watching me aren't subscribed yet. So if you are one of those people that aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It just would mean a lot for me, for the channel, and I would love you even more immensely. I want to hit 12,000 by the end of the home and away season. I've got really big goals, really big ambitions. Well, you know, I'm doing this full time now, right? So if you can hit that subscribe button, it would mean the absolute world to me. But let's get into my standouts. So like I said, it was hard to pick my top 5 from this game. I was going back and forth and, writing furiously on the whiteboard and rubbing it out and putting this and arrows, and I felt crazy like a conspiracy theorist. But I think I've nailed the top 5. There are some very unlucky guys, but I'm sure you're going to let me know in the comment section down below. So, starting off, my 5th best player of the game was Quain. Craig McRae came out and said he's getting back to his 2023 form, and we've kind of seen that slowly building throughout this season. Started off a little bit slow, bit of a different role now that we don't have that rebounding Q. He's more of a defender Q, and you remember, he used to have that stat where he hadn't lost a one-on-one or something absolutely ridiculous like that. But slowly, he's getting back. And, this might not be all Australian form, but this is the Quain that won us that Melbourne game because he was taking intercept mark over intercept mark. Took 3 contested marks against the Blues, and whenever the ball was in his vicinity or in his area, I just felt really safe and assured. Even when he had hands on the ball, he's just... ironically, IQ has got a good footy IQ, or funnily enough, right? But whenever he has the ball, especially lately, I just feel so safe and secure with him with the ball. And, I know he had 9 disposals last week and had 18 against the Blues, and he'll start slowly building that up. But with Josh Dayos giving that offensive, defensive run, we need IQ to use that body and do what he's doing, taking those intercept marks, because when it comes to finals times, that's who we're going to be sort of relying on, that type of player to really help us out. And it definitely helped us out that Brayden Maynard returned as well, and they work really well in tandem. So Q is my 5th best player of the game. Number 4. Now, all these numbers are just hairline. They could be, by a Bees, how's it going in between them. But number 4, I had Dan McStay. I thought this was Dan's best game for the club, or one of his best games for the club. Kicked 4 goals. Definitely could have had a couple more. But what I love about Dan was that he's got this, we talk about Tom Mitchell getting his aura back. And yeah, Dan has this aura, but he's got this like chest out, big Chris Dawes sort of energy. Like, it's giving me Chris Dawes when Chris Dawes used to, take the ruck work when we sort of needed him to. And we've finally got a forward line that's functioning with tall forwards again, like the 1-2s, like the Travis Cloak and the Chris Dawes era. It feels really, really good. And Dan McStay, I've always sort of said, I really don't want him second rucking, and I want him to stay in the forward line because that's where he's clunking him. But he's proving me wrong week in, week out, because he's doing well in the second ruck, and he's not taking the second ruck all the time. I saw Mycheck take some, Membry took some as well. But the chop out Cameron is needed 1,000%. You're not going to play Mason Cox or another sort of ruckman when we've got all those tools anyway. But that goal from Dan McStay, after the Brayden Maynard smother, he kicked it from like 70 or something meters. He's just that chest out. You kind of, was it Drew Petrie who scored that goal? I don't know if it was in a final, and he was like banging on his chest. That's what Dan McStay was giving me against the Blues. And we need to keep this guy fit and healthy, because we don't win the premiership in 23 without him, right? Without his heroics in those finals and coming back from all those injuries and really helping us. He was, when he came back, I think it was around 16 in 2023. He was averaging about 2 goals a game. So we need him to stay fit and firing, because he is such an important, or probably the important cog in our team at the moment. So Dan McStay is my 4th best player. Coming in at number 3, I had El Capitan Darcy Moore. If you watch my review of the game, you know what I think about Darcy Moore. And I thought today, or against Carlton, he absolutely led by example. And he, was the player that we know he is. And he's kind of like Q. He's been growing into it again. Still trying to find his feet at the start of the season. Billy Frampton was there, and then, losing Reef, and, still the Murphy thing. But these last maybe 4 or 5 games, I thought Darcy Moore has been absolutely phenomenal. And the Carlton game just put a period on that, right? Put a full stop on that, or exclamation mark on that. Definitely not a full stop, an exclamation mark on that. Because just like when Q had the ball, I felt safe and secured. When the ball was coming in, Darcy Moore was just marking them left, right, center. Took 4 contested marks. I had 10 intercept possessions. He was doing everything you want from a defender and everything you want from a captain. And I still can't believe that people were calling for his head. I saw people in my comment section saying that he should hand over the captaincy mid-season. I know that's not what every Collingwood supporter was thinking, but I've seen it on Facebook as well, and people just love to just jump to conclusions or jump to the worst possible scenario straight away. But Darcy Moore is getting back into that 2023 form, and if we can have Darcy in that 2023 form, Isaac Quain as well, Jeremy Howe is phenomenal. Oh my God, anything can happen. And you got to think, Darcy Moore, without Billy Frampton, the whole defense is sort of resting on him to play as that one-on-one defender that we know he isn't that comfortable with, but he gave Curnow a bath. Curnow went goalless. When does Curnow ever go goalless against Collingwood? So Darcy Moore, thank you so much. Now, number 2 and 1, this is the one I was going backwards and forths with, and I really don't know who's going to get the 3 Brownlow votes. I've got my number 2 player as Jamie Elliott. Kicked 4 goals, 3, and he has, we know, he's reinvented himself, and what more can you sort of say about him? But, you got to understand, he missed 2 full seasons, right? 2 full seasons a few years ago, and last year he was on the verge of retirement with that foot nerve injury. He didn't know if he was going to play again, and now we are 17 or so games in, and he hits his best goal tally ever in a single season. He hits 40, and then he kicks another one straight after, hits 41. He's going to be a 50-goal forward by the end of the home and away season. He could be a 60-goal forward. And I was reading somewhere that we haven't had a 60-goal forward since Travis Cloke in, I think it was 2013 or something ridiculous like that. Jamie Elliott is the small forward of the modern era. I know there's others and stuff, but this guy consistently does it week in, week out, and has been doing it for years and years and years. Craig McRae has given him a new lease on life. He's looking at a 2-year contract extension. I love this guy so bloody much. Coming in at number 1, no surprise here, Nick Dayos, 30-plus clearances, 7 inside 50, 7 clearances, 13 score involvements, 2 contested marks, more contested marks than Charlie bloody Curnow. Nick, they had Hewitt going with him. They had a couple of other players here and there with him. But if you don't give him the hard tag, he is just going to absolutely take the piss, and take the piss he did. What a player. But, this should be a Nick Dayos 3 Brownlow vote game. And he's probably done a 3 Brownlow vote game for the last 3 or so games. But, I could see Jamie Elliott easily taking the 3 votes from him against the Blues as well. So it's going to be really interesting on Brownlow night. But Nick Dayos, we know, is such an important cog in our machine, kind of like Dan McStay in the forward line. But Nick Dayos, what he can do with the ball, what other things can you say? What other platitudes and what other analogies and everything, metaphors and all these sort of English grammatical things that you can say about him that hasn't been already said? He's got the ball on the string. He is the best player in the game. Any team would love to have him. And now he's taking contested marks. Holy airball. Some other guys that I wanted to give a quick shout out to. Tim Membry, 2 goals. He's doing everything that we need him to do. Everything that we knew he could do coming into this side. We didn't really probably think he was going to play, 20 or so games, but it's looking likely that he probably will get a rest sooner or later, but he's doing phenomenally. Brody Myercheck. Patrick Lipinski, after it came out that he was the best kick going inside 50 to generate scores with, He has not missed a target inside 50. Score assists coming out of the wazoo for him. Who else? I thought Tom. Oh my God, Tom Mitchell. He's showing why we need him and how him and Ned Long can be in the same team together. Oh, it makes me so bloody excited that's possible. I wanted to know if it was possible at times, and in Adelaide when I made that video, I didn't think it was possible. But now, in the last few weeks, I'm like, maybe it is, maybe it is, maybe it is, maybe it is. Bang, it is possible. Are they going to persist with it? Who knows? But, Tom Mitchell comes into our team and our clearance work goes up. I don't know. Find the correlation, Find the correlation between that. Roan Steele, on his debut game, seemed like he had played for the Pies for the last 6 years. He's been there for like 3 or 4 weeks. Braden Maynard coming back. Jack Crisp, underrated. Darcy Cameron, like I said in my review of the game, nobody had a bad game. Everybody did their roles. Some of the players might not be accumulating the big scores or generating the big, sort of wow moments that you want from like a Houston or a Perryman, but they're doing their roles, they're doing them well, and I'd rather them do their roles well than try and overexert themselves and then mess up or anything like that. But, there's only standouts in this video. I couldn't fault anything. I couldn't fault anything or anyone. Only standouts. So, let me know your standouts below. Do you agree with mine? Do you want to slap me across the face because I, didn't leave or I left someone out of my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s? Let me know down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll soup you later. Go Pies.